Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm back after the holidays. If you celebrate the Thanksgiving holidays, I hope you had a good holiday. It's a good start to the holiday season because next is the Christmas. And I have a bunch of goodies for anybody who is doing consultations or getting started with us in December. I have a bunch of goodies to offer to you um, in because we're also focusing on the theme here. Tis the season of giving, so I want to make sure that I'm also handing out the way I can, handing out generous gifts. So that you can have access to legal advice you need and legal options to get your status here in the United States. So I'm excited to meet six individuals who got the free consultations in the last three lives that we did. So I'm excited to meet them in the next few days and weeks. And we're also handing out 10 more. So closer to the Christmas time, we'll be handing out 10 more free consultations. So I'll make the official announcement and you'll also see postings about it when we're ready to announce it. And then we'll also bring back the discount so that you can get your discount to schedule your consultation. Now, today I'm going to answer a question, and this is a very common question, and it's, can a citizen child get you the green card? Now, in most situations or many situations, the question usually comes from an individual who just recently had a US citizen child, and they're trying to figure out if there's any way that they can gain citizenship through that child. And unfortunately, the bad news I have here is that just having a US citizen child who's under 21 and unmarried, well, not unmarried, who's under 21 is not going to get you any kind of status or access to status. You have to wait until they turn 21. And just to clarify here, their marital status is unrelated. It will not affect you getting your green card, but they have to reach the age of 21 before they can petition for you. So what I usually do is in the consultations, that is a question I ask, is if they do have any children who are age 21 or older. But if they don't, my consultations are very detailed. I ask very specific questions to find other options that may be available so that if maybe they can gain status or even the green card before their child turns 21 anyway. They don't have to wait. So that's also a valuable part of the consultation, is that I look at a number of options. So I ask questions, while I'm asking the questions, I'm basically evaluating about 20 different ways that one can get their work permit or their green card or some kind of relief that can allow them to legally stay here and work here. So go ahead, make sure you schedule your appointment. The December schedule, I believe, is full. I mean, you can still go and check, but we're now booking into January. So make sure, early January, so make sure you schedule so that we can talk to you as soon as possible. Because my goal here is to make sure that we can at least start working on your case. I am treating cases with urgency. I mean, I make sure we're very thorough with each case because the case types that we take really depend on being thorough and making sure that we're very detail oriented and we're careful with each and every detail of our clients. But we also treat the cases with urgency because we understand that policies can change in the future. As you can see, we already have states that are passing laws, and those laws are now targeting immigrants. The Texas law has passed, and that Texas law authorizes, I mean, I do think they're going to challenge it because it directly conflicts with the federal government's ability to enforce immigration laws. But for now, immigrants in Texas have to be worried about whether, many individuals have to be worried about whether they're going to be racially profiled because, oftentimes they'll look at people of color as maybe you're an immigrant too. And then, in addition to that, the immigrants have to worry about whether they're going to be removed by state uh, and local police because they're giving them the authority to drive them to the border and tell them to go across the border. If they refuse, they then charge them with crime. So very scary things are happening here. And what I want to emphasize is that the federal government, even though there's a lot to be desired here, I just read a news article this morning that said Congress, they're looking at a bill in the next few days to pass in regards to border security. And it does not include any kind of provisions or pathways for anybody, including DACA recipients, to receive a permanent path to citizenship. So, as you can see, even though it's our hope that there will be immigration reform that's going to help a lot of people who are here without status, especially those who have been come here as children, as you can see, nobody wants to touch that right now. The hot topic is border security, but nobody wants to touch that topic because it's a very controversial topic and it's not politically, it's not in anybody's favor to push that agenda right now. So I would say right now, the federal government, they have implemented policies that are fair, they're fairer. They give the ability to find the relief. I've been able to find the relief necessary for my clients to get status here. So it's so important to make sure that you evaluate your options because we don't know how the policies are going to change come in 2025. If we have a different president, if we have a president on the Republican side, then we're going to see different policies in place. All right. I'm just okay. So now let me go ahead and answer some questions. Thanks so much for the love on TikTok. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook and YouTube. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments. I'm going through each option and I'm going through each platform and I'm answering questions. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments now so that I can answer your questions. All right. Hi there, Lindy. Nice to see you. Hi. Okay, so we have here Bert's called in, want a free consultation, and okay, so I'm not sure. We'll get back to you on that one. Thank you so much on Instagram. Thanks so much for your patience. So I had an interruption, but we're back. So if you had your questions, put your questions again, please, because I had an interruption, um, and it got the sound got disrupted. All right, so put your questions in the comments. Hi there, Alton on Facebook. Nice to see you. All right, so let's go on TikTok. How long does VAWA take to give you your SSN and work permit? So I'm seeing anywhere from 6 months to 12 months to get the work permit. How long would you have to be married to file a VAWA? Great question. You do not have to wait, right? If you have been mistreated, verbally, mentally, emotionally, physically, that qualifies you. The main is if you qualify based on the mistreatment, then you can move forward. You could be married for a week, you could even be married for a day, If you experience this, you could qualify for VAWA. So no wait period. The point of VAWA is for you to get protection. Another thing I did want to mention here, since you brought up VAWA, is, the question I started with was, can a citizen child get you the green card? And I clarified that children who are age 21 or over and who are citizens can petition for their parents. Anybody who's younger than that cannot. But under VAWA, another thing to keep in mind is your stepchildren. If you've been mistreated by a stepchild, and that stepchild is 21 or over, then you can qualify to apply for VAWA as well. Now, even if you're not mistreated, say you have a citizen stepchild and you get along with your stepchild, you love your stepchild, you've raised your stepchild, and your stepchild has reached the age of 21, you could still, that stepchild could still petition for you. Now, the under immigration law, stepchildren fall under a very specific definition. So, in the normal world, outside of immigration law, stepchild is you got married to someone else, and that someone else's child, whether they're an adult or not, is your stepchild, right? Stepdaughter, stepson. But under immigration law, for immigration purposes, for them to be able to petition for you, or for you to apply for VAWA based on mistreatment by your citizen stepchild, you also have to show that you got married to your spouse before that child turned 18. If that is not the case, if that child was already 18 when you married the parent of that child, they cannot petition for you. They can't petition for you. You can't petition for them. And they would not be able to, you would not be able to submit a self petition under VAWA. So keep that rule in mind, because it's very important in this process. If you get travel document, do you think it is safe to travel or wait on the 2 year or 10 year? So it depends, Jermaine. So first of all, this is really on a case by case basis. Some of my clients, they face more risk than others, and I tell them that they should not travel because the risk is maybe too great. But others may not have those risk factors in their case, and I tell them, go have a good time, and call me when they get back. So it just depends on the client's case. So for you, I don't know what the situation is, and that's where it's very important to get representation through your process so you get the right legal advice. I just got a 6-month-old baby. How can he be of help with me getting my green card? So, unfortunately, having a 6-month-old US citizen child will not do anything for your green card. You would still have to qualify in some other way or be petitioned for by another family member if you qualify for that. If you have another family member that qualifies to petition for you. But having a child alone, having a baby here who is a US citizen is not going to get you the green card. It does nothing for you, for your immigration. Now, it's not to say you don't have options. That's where the consultation is very important, because whenever I do have clients who have US citizen children, and but it's that alone isn't going to qualify them. I do look at other options for them. Let's say your wife doesn't want to continue the green card process and she's just trying to sabotage you being here. Then that's where you give me a call and let's talk about whether you qualify for VAWA. Let's do an evaluation and get started. You can empower yourself by applying for VAWA so that your spouse does not sabotage the process. If you followed me for a while, you'll hear me say that. Apply for VAWA early. don't wait until that spouse manages to sabotage your process, because that's far more devastating than applying for VAWA early on, because it puts immigration on notice that you're going through this situation. But if you stay silent, go to the interview, or the spouse ends up writing a false letter, claiming all sorts of false facts in there, false information in there, then you're going to have a problem. And you may even have a complex VAWA process as well. How is the VAWA process? So, in a nutshell, we file a petition with documentation. I usually say don't worry about the evidence. If it happened to you, you can even submit your statement. We call it a declaration, and that can be accepted as evidence as long as it's credible. So don't worry about, I don't have anything to show, I don't have pictures or anything. Let's talk first. Let's figure out, what do you have? And then we go from there. So we file the petition along with any supporting evidence, which includes a declaration. And then we also file, if you do qualify for the green card through adjustment of status, and we apply for the work permit, the travel document all in one where you qualify, or we wait until it's time for you to qualify for that. The process of getting the work permit and travel document is taking about 6 months to 12 months. And then after that, you would wait for the VAWA process to be approved. You would then, once the VAWA is approved, you would then get another type of status that puts you in a protected status for 2 years while they process your green card. The entire process takes about 3 years, but to get to the work permit takes anywhere from 6 months to 12 months from the date of filing. If you have an EAD through marriage and had to file VAWA abeyance, how long to get the VAWA EAD? So it depends. Now you have the EAD already, so you wouldn't need to get the. Thanks for this question, because you would not need to get the EAD through VAWA. You would renew the EAD for adjustment of status, right? Because now that adjustment of status is linked to your VAWA. Then once your VAWA is approved, you can get the EAD. So you'd be looking at maybe an 2.5 years afterwards of getting the VAWA EAD. But while you're waiting for the VAWA EAD, that's the work permit, you're getting you still have your work permit. What if the child underage father tried to stop the filing for his child? Well, let's talk about that because the child may also qualify for VAWA. So if the child is being mistreated by the parent, then they could qualify too for VAWA. So go ahead and call us. Let's talk about what the situation is and get started. Can you answer how long it takes to get reviewed the case actively by the USCIS? It depends on the case type. I was among those that won the. So I think there's some misinformation. There's only 2 staff members that can give you the free consultation. Those who called, we do have a call center. And I listed out the individuals that are authorized to give the free consultations. So if it's today and you haven't gotten a call back about winning, then it means you didn't win. Because you would have had to talk to the 2 staff members who won. So apparently the call team, I don't know why they would have informed you that you won. There are only 2 people who are authorized to give those, and they've already been handed out. Awesome. I can't wait to talk to you. All right, what is the best cost for a work permit and adjustment of status? So I don't give quotes on here until I understand your case. Please, how do I take over my sister's green card application as she's no longer interested in the process and wouldn't want me to know anything about it? I have the case number. Give me a call. Let's talk about what's going on there. How long does it take USCIS to make decisions after USCIS receives RFE for medical? So it depends. I've seen it as soon as a month later. I've also seen it take a couple months, so like 6 months after the medical. So it just depends on the office and their caseload. Can I have the work permit and green card and how? So I do all my lives based on this topic, but there's so many different ways. So we'd have to do a consultation to see how you can qualify. So good afternoon. Can you advise me the best time to contact you? Anytime. So we do have a call center that's available 24/7, 24/7. So that means around the clock. And then we have scheduling coordinators who can get back to you, who will then go ahead and schedule the consultation for you. I'm not married to his mother, but we're not together. Do I have to be married to get a green card? Yes. So the short answer would be yes. You'd have to be married if you're going to do it through the child. I got married to my husband in June. He's in the Navy, but no, he doesn't want to do my paperwork. He's also verbal and mentally abusive. Because of my situation, he's getting benefits and not helping. So I've seen this is all too common. Give me a call. There is VAWA, but we need to determine what's going on and get started on your process. So thanks so much for the compliment. Okay, I-130, 9 months to a year for that to be processed. Should I still do the medical and biometrics even though my spouse doesn't want to continue? Um, give us a call. I can't advise you directly because I'm not your attorney, but give us a call. Now is the time to get representation. So important. Get that representation so you don't make any missteps in the process. The question is, should you do the medical and the biometrics even though the spouse doesn't want to continue the process? No, there is some strategy that you have to make sure you follow, that you plan ahead. VAWA may be a part of this, just depending on whether there's mistreatment, but I have to understand the situation. Anytime there's a biometrics notice that you're provided, it is in your best interest to attend the biometrics just because they will cancel your process and say you never showed up to the biometrics. So um, there is a way to switch it from VAWA to another process, to switch it from the marriage base to another process. So give me a call. Let's talk about how to approach your situation. So important. If you're invested in your process, you'll go ahead and follow through and get representation. How long does it take after I-360 approval and medical submitted for I-485? So it's anywhere from 6 months to a year. So they may waive the interview. They'll schedule the interview. If they waive the interview, then you should see it within 6 months to a year. But if not, you'll have to attend the interview first, and then they'll let you know if you're approved. How long a work permit and green card take through VAWA if my husband is a green card holder? So you do have to apply for the petition first, and then wait for your priority date to become current. I can't stress how important it is to get on the VAWA now because the wait list can only get longer. It's not that long now, but trust me, it's going to get longer. So you want to make sure you're on top of that. Schedule an appointment. Let's talk. Now I have to head out because I have to attend another appointment. But go ahead. The best thing you can do is schedule a consultation. Right now, we're going into January. It's early January, so secure your spot so that we can talk and I can assist you early on in the year. We want to, as I said before, it's so important to know your options, know your rights, know how you can move forward in the immigration process, especially before the next election where we don't know what's going to happen in 2025. you want to get that all resolved before the end of next year at least. And the way to do that is to start now or start at the beginning of the year. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good day. I'll be back tomorrow at around lunchtime, so around 12:30, and we can continue talking then. And then for those of you who are still looking out for the free consultation, that is finished. We already had our winners, and those were the first two people that called and spoke to the staff that were authorized to give out the free consultations. But this is not the end. Continue to tune in, because I'm going to announce 10 more this month in December, a little further down, closer to Christmas. So join me and look out for those promotions. Have a good one. Bye-bye.